Hey, my beautiful followers. How is everybody doing today? I hope you are all having an amazing day. It is Friday, so I hope everybody is excited for their weekend and any plans that they have coming up. I know I am stoked for this weekend. It is Winter Wonderlust weekend, and I love Orgasm Camp because it is just a powerful weekend. The energy is always fun and playful, yet so honoring, and there's so much learning that happens. And so I personally am stoked for the weekend. I really am. I'm very excited. But today it was interesting because I was going throughout my day. I was like, okay, I always try to keep my eyes open and my heart open and my mind really open to what I'm feeling called to talk about that day. And today, all day, I was like nothing is coming in. Nothing is coming. So I went into some meditation. Things are coming in, but nothing for a live stream. I'm not feeling anything particular for a live stream. And then all of a sudden it hit. I watched a video of two beautiful tantric practitioners today. And all of a sudden, it all kind of came together about exactly what I was meant to talk about today. And it is our stories, and how the entire story is so important. Our entire story. So over the last few days, and I would say the last few weeks actually, but particularly the last few days, the topic of our story, my story, another person's story, our stories, and the impact our stories have on not just our lives but other people's lives keeps coming up. Last night I actually, and you guys don't get access to this video, but last night I actually did a live stream in a group kind of program I'm doing, and one of the things that we needed to do is share a piece of our story, and I shared a piece of my tantric journey and really how I unwound into being the tantric practitioner I am today, and kind of how I really integrated everything in my life to come to this point, and how I'm still integrating everything into my life, how everything is weaving together, all my hardships, all my beautiful moments, all the people in my life that have impacted, how it all has weaved together and made me and my story. It has made my foundation. It has made that tale. And it just kept coming, all other people sharing their stories. And I think sometimes when we share our stories, and whether this is a sexual story, because we all have our sexual journey, our sexual story, and not that we can segregate things into different kind of avenues, because it all truly does weave together. As a practitioner, I will never tell you that you can segregate these pieces, but we all have our sexual story. We all have our relationship stories. We all have the story of our self-esteem. We have our story of our career. We have all these stories, but we tend to do one of two things. We either focus on the negatives of our story, or we completely bypass all the negatives and focus just in on the positives. And I think recently I'm seeing a lot of spiritual talk about bypassing emotions, and how it's this spiritual bypassing, this emotional bypassing of pushing away any negative emotion, really focusing in only on the positives, which as a coach, I'm all about focusing in on the forward movement. I'm all about really working on upping your vibration. And I think when we talk about upping vibration, sometimes that gets translated into we have to stuff our emotions. We can't have negative emotions. When in truth, if you want the positive emotions, you have to experience the negative emotions. Next week, I'm going to be presenting. I have a busy week of workshops. I have Winter Wonderlust, then I have a tantric integration puja, where we're going to be talking about lust, sex, and pleasure. But then I'm going to the Austin Tantra Festival, and I chose to talk about shadow work, not something that we like to talk about when we're talking about Tantra, but so imperative. I'm going to be teaching a whole experiential workshop on shadow work and really getting us into it, not just talking about it, but really getting us into it. So if you're going to be in the Austin area, the Dallas area, please pop into that. I will put a link below. But in truth, if we want our joy, we have to experience our anger. If we want to experience connection, we have to also work through the emotions that keep us disconnected. We have to look at our jealousy. We have to, if we want to feel all this self-esteem and self-love, guess what? We have to work through those points where we feel unworthy. And we have to do the fucking work. We have to actually look at it. And we have to get really clear with ourselves about where those stories are being made. But that's part of our story. If you ever have heard about the hero's journey, and so many people have, but if you ever heard about the hero's journey, it's all about that journey from one point to another. And guess what? There is always hardship in the journey. We can't bypass the hardship. We can't bypass the emotion. And really that tends to be our hardship. It's not the external world. It's how we feel about our external world. It's how we feel about ourselves. It is this. But that is a beautiful piece of our stories that is imperative. There are those people, and I know you know them. I know you know them. I sometimes see them right on this couch. And sometimes I talk to them on the phone. And sometimes I am one of them. We all can be that person who wants to focus in on the negatives of our story. And so we tend to do one of two things. And I don't like the word balance, but we don't tend to balance it out and really look at the whole picture and share, yeah, like I struggled here, but look at how amazing I did here. Look at what I did. Look at how I expanded and I grew. And that is the beauty of a good story. That is the beauty of a good story. Because if you're not talking about the negatives, then the positive, then this expansion, this opening doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't have that like, wow. Doesn't have that energy. And if you're not giving it's not about telling your story to others. It's about the story you're telling yourself. And so if you're not acknowledging your hardship, then your abundance isn't going to feel as good. But if you're not noticing your abundance, then guess what? This negative is just going to pull you down. It's just going to pull you down. You're not going to find the joy if we're shutting out, if we're not wanting to brag. I was having coffee with somebody the other day, and she started talking about like the amazing fucking shit she's doing. And I was like, you go, girl, you go. That's awesome. However, she's like, yeah, but I don't want to sound, I forget what she exactly said, but it was like, I don't want to brag. And I was like, go and brag on yourself. We need more bragging. We need more talking about how amazing we are. We need to be able to talk about all the beauty that we are creating in this world. That's not to say that you need to go be a narcissist and be like, I am the best person in the whole entire world and you all are below me. That's not what I'm talking about, but going like, yeah, I did that. That's amazing. And I did a great job. And last night, as I was sharing my tantric journey and kind of how I came to the tantra world, I was really going through kind of my years of an eating disorder and cutting and hating on my body and sexual trauma, and how I slowly, and then it started to kind of pick up, really started to focus in on my core, focus in on myself, focus in on my beauty and that energy, the sexual energy, and how it all started to fall away. How I really expanded, how I really reconnected with my spirit, and started to weave my life truly together. And I sat there going, wow, like that was a dark time. I remember that dark time, and I can talk about that dark time. And when you can talk about your dark times, when you can really, really talk about them, it's like, yeah, that was bad. Like that wasn't good. That wasn't good. And still connect to it, but be like, yeah, but I'm not there anymore. Look how amazing I'm doing. That is a beautiful process. However, if you're not willing to do this work over here, and that's a negative, not negative, that's a label. But if you don't want to do the work around the emotion, if you don't want to do the work about looking about the hard stuff, looking yourself in the freaking mirror and going, no, you're not living up to where you need to be. You're not allowing yourself to really shine. You're not allowing yourself to feel whatever that is, whatever that blockage is. If you're not allowing yourself to go into your shadow land a little bit, then you will not experience the beautiful joys in this life. However, if you're just so focused in on the joy and you're pushing this aside, it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. True Tantra, true storytelling, true sharing and expansion requires both the dark and the light. It requires this balancing force, or this harmonizing force, again, because I don't like the term balance, this harmonizing force between both, because when we know our dark, we can know our light. If you are really interested in like shadow work and knowing more about this, like Brene Brown is amazing at talking about the dark and the light. I think it is Daring Greatly. She really goes into this. It might be Gifts of Imperfection, but I do believe it's Daring Greatly that she really talks about this and the power of our story, because our stories are powerful. And if we don't allow ourselves to share our stories and get vulnerable, and usually it is the highs and the lowest lows that we really struggle to share, because that is where most people hold shame. If you're not able to do that, it is time to start kind of really doing your work and looking at that, because the whole gamut of our story needs to be shared. And I'm going to share this one little piece and then I will let you guys go for today. But even in relationships, when we're talking about sex, we need to share our stories. And that's not just sharing, oh yeah, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. That's not sharing your story, how you felt, how did it make you feel, what did it look like, what did it bring up for you, all of these pieces, what you learned from it. Those are important pieces when you are in a sexual relationship, about sharing those pieces of a story. I recently actually ended a relationship that I felt like we were not really sharing our sexual stories. There was this blockage in the sexual story sharing, and I find it incredibly important to share our sexual stories, because our sex mirrors our life. Our sex shows us our expansion. And if we don't know somebody's foundation, if we don't know kind of where somebody has been, the highs, the lows, and I think even in sex, it sometimes can be easier to share the negatives of sex, but with a partner, it can be much harder to share those really amazing moments that you've had with previous partners, those really amazing things that you were like, that I will never forget that moment. I think that gets edgy and that gets vulnerable, but that is incredibly important, because how is another partner supposed to understand you as a sexual being, as a human fucking being? How is your partner supposed to truly understand you if they don't know this? They don't know that there was this time when you were with your partner and he or she did this, and you felt this energy, or you felt connected to God, and you had this sensation. How are they supposed to help you? How are they supposed to kind of work with you as a sexual human being if they don't know anything about that? Like, yes, you can connect, but if you're really wanting to bond with somebody, if you're really wanting to connect with somebody, our stories, all of our stories, the gamut of the feelings in our stories are all important. It is all important, because and I want you to really I want you to truly look at what you choose to hide, because we all do it differently. Every single one of us. Some of us want to hide the joys. Some of us want to hide the sorrow. Some of us want to disconnect from the emotion. Some of us get lost in the fucking emotion. I want you, and that means you, the person I'm talking to right this second, the person I'm on the screen with, I want you to look at where you disconnect from your story. And then I want you to just get curious. Don't hate on self. This is not oh my goodness, I'm so horrible, I disconnected this way. That's not going to help anybody. But to look at where you disconnect in your own story and why. Get curious. Be like, why do I choose to not share my joys in my sexual relationships? Why do I choose not to share the really difficult emotions? Why do I choose not to share when I'm experiencing this or this or this? Or why do I keep this one story really hid away? Like, and who do I share it with? And why do I get really curious? And that's my message for you guys today, is to get truly curious about your story. And as soon as you can dive into the pieces that you are trying to suppress or hide, I promise you, your life and your connections will improve with people. And those that are not meant to truly connect with you will fall away, unfortunately. But those that are meant to truly connect with you, those who are meant to hear your story, I promise you, you will manifest those into your life just by really removing the blockages that you have in your own story. And ask yourself, why am I not letting myself be seen? Why do I not want to fully let myself be seen? And that's a beautiful journal entry, and I promise you that you can get some truly good, juicy information for yourself just by that journal prompt. So, all right, guys, I am gonna let you go for the day, but I actually probably won't be back tomorrow because I do have I have clients, I have orgasm camp, I'm gonna be blowing and going all day long. So I will catch you guys probably on Sunday. But I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Friday, and go and do that work. Go and do some deep journaling. Go ahead, just have a good weekend as well. So I love you guys, and if you want to attend any of my events, then please go to my events calendar at addisonbill.net/events. It's really complicated. But go to my website in the events tab, and you can check out the Winter Wonderlust. We are pretty much sold out at this point. There's only a couple more seats left. It is tomorrow, but and I only think I have one, maybe two seats left for my puja. It is pretty much sold out as well. There's gonna be a wait list of people. And then the Austin Tantra Festival is not sold out, so go and check that out and get your butts to Austin and come hear me talk, Kendall Williams talk, Eugene Hovland talk, Scott and Melanie, McClure, and so many other practitioners talk about the beauty of Tantra and how it really, truly can expand you. All right, guys, I will see you on Sunday. Bye.